Our hats off to the engineers who work tirelessly on the safety built into the products that are used by us with a muscular disease like Inclusion Body Myositis or IBM. But those engineers rely on us to make sure we are using all the necessary precautions made available to us to prevent accident, injury, and even worse. Hi, Jerry here again on this IB Myositis channel dedicated to those with IBM and their caregivers. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you like this series and press the subscribe button to join the hundreds of other IBMers and caregivers who have already subscribed. In our last episode, we discussed many terms relevant to the selection process of picking a vehicle that meets your needs and desires. You probably already have a good idea of the type of vehicle you want. You know, whether it's a rear access or a side access, or maybe even a vehicle brand and model. This part 2 will discuss a few financial related items and some dimensions to consider in your selection process of an IBM accessible vehicle. You definitely will want to look way ahead into your IBM future when buying a long-term aid such as an accessible vehicle. Owning a handicap accessible vehicle may offer some benefits for you and your family. It increases your mobility and involvement when you can easily join others and also reduces stress on family members and caregivers. But it also requires a financial commitment. Can it offer you some relief on your taxes in return for that commitment? Yes, it can. Let's spend a minute discussing what is tax deductible and what is not tax deductible. Hang on, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. The price of the base vehicle itself is not tax deductible. However, any modifications required for medical purposes, such as lowering the floor, adding a wheelchair ramp, well, the accessible vehicle conversion in its entirety is deductible in the year you purchased it. Additionally, IRS Publication 502 states that under medical expenses, you can deduct the difference between the cost of owning a regular car and owning a vehicle specifically designed to accommodate a wheelchair. I think all would agree that power sliding doors for an accessible van are required for someone with IBM. Therefore, you can deduct the difference between the base price of the van with power sliding doors versus the base price of one without power sliding doors, or an additional $2,000 to $3,000 deduction for having to purchase that higher trim package that includes the power sliding doors. You might as well take advantage of every deduction available to you. When you purchase an accessible vehicle from a conversion company or dealer, you will receive 2 invoices, one for the base vehicle and a second invoice containing the tax-deductible cost of installation for the conversion. The substantial amount for the conversion can be used as a tax deduction along with other medical deductions beyond 10% of your adjusted gross income if you are under 65, or anything over 7.5% of your adjusted gross income once you reach your 65th birthday. Also under this same guideline, the costs you paid for tying down your power chair, like straps or docking device, are also deductible. Also ask your insurance agent about the difference between insuring a regular van and your handicap accessible ramp van and report the difference on your taxes as a deduction. When talking to your auto insurance agent, verify that the conversion cost is covered underneath your policy as well as the cost of the vehicle. One last accessible vehicle tax tip. If you are unable to make the long trip because of your IBM to the conversion factory to pick up your van, you can deduct any shipping costs between the van conversion location and your home. Keeping all this in mind, along with keeping good records, will make it easier for you at tax time. How do you know your full-size chair and you will easily fit in the ramp van you are considering to purchase? My last 2 vans, both purchased from AMS Vans, were converted on a Chrysler Town & Country chassis, the first a 2010, the second on a 2014. Both vans featured a power fold-out side entry ramp. The door opening was 54 inches tall and the ramp was 29 inches wide. Although both of these dimensions were less than the now ADA recommended 56 inches high and 30 inches wide, I never had any entry or exit problems while using my Quantum Edge, a full-size power chair. I'm 6 foot 2 inches tall, and my overall height when sitting in my power chair is about 2 inches taller than my van's sliding door opening. If you can visualize it, the upper trunk of a person's body will naturally bend forward a little while going up a ramp, sort of like a self-leveling feature keeping your upper body perpendicular to the ground. Maintaining this bent posture while going through the van's doorway is enough to keep my head from hitting the top of the door opening at the present time. But in my next van, I will probably select one with at least a 56-inch opening, as my ability to bend forward and backwards might not last forever with this damn progressive disease. Your power chair's headrest must also clear the top of the door opening, so make sure you measure the overall height to the top of the headrest and adjust the headrest accordingly. You would hate to catch the chair's headrest when entering or exiting the van. Your next dimensional concern may be the head clearance at the inside of the van. If you will be positioned in the front passenger side, you will need to check the height measurement there. Vans that have a sunroof will usually have 1 to 2 inches less headroom than one without a sunroof. So, if you don't see yourself regularly enjoying a sunroof and you are tall, perhaps you should select a van without a sunroof to gain some extra headroom. You have several choices about the age of the ramp van when purchasing one. Your choices are brand new. That is, a new van with a new ramp van conversion that comes with a full base vehicle warranty as well as a full warranty on the modifications performed by the ramp van conversion company. Chrysler, Honda, and Toyota all have a $1,000 mobility assistance rebate available after the purchase of one of their new vans. That's a nice chunk of change to receive upon registering your new vehicle with them. Another popular option is a new conversion installed on a used van. Conversion companies purchase low-mileage vans, often with less than 30,000 miles on them, and install their conversion to make them into a ramp van. The 2 ramp vans I personally bought in the past were purchased from this type, a new conversion on a low-mileage used van. You get the remaining warranty left on the base vehicle and the full warranty on the conversion. Your third choice is to purchase a used ramp van from a ramp van manufacturer or dealer that may have taken it in on trade on a newer ramp van. These vans will have been gone through for a complete safety check as well as an operational check. You are entitled to any remaining vehicle manufacturer's warranty and conversion warranty if any is still available. There's a fourth choice that may not have crossed your mind. Let's say you already own a minivan or know of a great local deal on one that you like. Contact a ramp van conversion company, give them the van particulars, and request if they will perform the conversion on it to make it a ramp van for you. You will then have to get the van delivered to the conversion factory, and depending on their factory build schedule, the conversion might be complete within 4 to 8 weeks with a full warranty on the conversion. Now back to the safety aspect of owning a ramp van. Although today's ramp vans are rigorously crash tested to industry standards, it won't do a bit of good if you or your power chair aren't properly secured. Power chairs need to be secured from movement whenever the van is moved. Securement straps need to be installed by the caregiver or driver to protect everyone in the van in case of a need for the van to be suddenly braked or stopped, or in case of an accident. The power chair needs to be tightly secured to the van, the power chair occupant needs to be secured to the power chair, and the vehicle's lap and shoulder belt must be secured tightly around the occupant in the chair. Vans typically come from the ramp van conversion company with a basic set of power chair tie-down straps. You may choose to purchase an optional or retractable set that are much quicker to use. There are also crash-tested systems available to secure your power chair to the floor of the transport vehicle without the laborious task of connecting and disconnecting 4 securement straps every trip in the ramp van. Your power chair is locked in place through a bracket attached to the bottom or side of your power chair. When the bracket stud enters the floor-mounted receiver, the chair is captured by the assembly's locking mechanism and the power chair is secured. A light on the control panel will indicate when your chair is in the docked position. You won't be able to undock your power chair until the vehicle's transmission is in park and the engine is shut off for safety reasons. Due to my diminished hand and arm strength, I can no longer install my own seat belt in our van. My driver simply reaches for and grabs a lap belt before I drive my power chair into the floor-mounted docking station. While I drive forward and get my chair locked to the van, she is busy completing the lap belt connection for me. She then raises the ramp, closes the power sliding door, and off we go. When we reach our destination, my caregiver unlatches my vehicle lap belt, opens the sliding door, lowers the ramp as I press the docking station release button before backing my chair up and driving out of the van. And we're off on another doctor appointment, shopping, or entertainment adventure. So, what's it like to purchase a ramp van over the phone or internet? The actual purchase of the van isn't much different than buying one in person. My best advice is to make yourself a list of items important to you and double-check their offer against your list to make sure every concern is covered. When verbally agreeing on a van purchase, you will want to see a written contract that you have the right to accept or reject. If accepting the purchase offer, you will be sent the sales contract that you need to sign, fax, or email back to them and give them a down payment, often being able to use your credit card to start the process of preparing a van for you. Within a few days, you will receive a build schedule and an estimated delivery date if a van will be converted for you, or an anticipated arrival date if you selected a van that's ready for delivery. Upon receiving the contract, you will be able to see the van's vehicle identification number to give to your auto insurance agent for an insurance quote. Did I mention that ramp vans purchased factory direct can be delivered directly to your home? Upon its arrival, the delivery technician will review your new ride with you and teach you all you need to know about your new transporter. He will finish the paperwork with you and collect from you a bank cashier's check containing any unpaid balance. If you've negotiated a trade of your old vehicle, he will load it on his delivery trailer before departing. Let's get back to talking about specs and dimensions. We've already talked about the door opening height and the interior headroom and the overall height of the van to make sure it will fit in your garage. What about your caregiver's needs in your van selection? My spouse is tall. My son and other friend who occasionally drive me somewhere are both tall. We recently tried out several models of converted vans and learned that the Chrysler Pacifica was a head knocker for my tall wife when entering the van through the driver's door. The Honda's Odyssey seems to have a little larger driver door opening, and it seems that the Toyota Sienna offers the largest opening height for the tall driver. The Dodge Grand Caravan had an acceptable door opening for a tall person, but often was only offered with a 54-inch door opening for the ramp side that was a disqualifying factor for a power chair operator like myself. I've taken on the laborious task of looking at 4 major minivan conversion companies' product specifications and have entered some important spec dimensions on a spreadsheet. I sorted them 3 different ways and have provided a PDF copy that you can download from under the Files tab on the Myositis Support and Understanding Facebook group page, or from the Inclusion Body Myositis Open Group Facebook page, also in the Files area. So, if you are a member in either of those groups, you will have access to this spreadsheet. There are 3 pages, all sorted differently, and the sort order is identified at the top of each page. These specs are for the current model years of 2018 and 19, but are valid for previous years if the model's body style didn't drastically change. Use the Dodge Grand Caravan specs if you need to look up a Chrysler Town & Country, as for the most part, they are the same vehicles. One last question that has often been asked: where are these vans made? The Dodge Grand Caravan and Chrysler Pacifica models are manufactured in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. The Honda Odyssey is built in Lincoln, Alabama, and the Toyota Sienna is built in Princeton, Indiana. All of the accessible vehicle conversions mentioned in these two videos are products of Georgia, Indiana, Michigan, or Minnesota, respectively. There, I hope this and the previous video have given you some basic information about your upcoming ramp van purchase. Please refer to the conversion company websites for more information. I've placed their website links in the information section of this video. I would again like to thank AMS Vans, BraunAbility Van Corporation, and Rollx Vans for permission to use their photos and video segments in the making of these two IB myositis episodes. Please call them with any questions regarding the purchase of your next accessible vehicle. If you learned only one thing from this episode, I hope it's the need to adequately secure yourself and your power chair inside your accessible vehicle. The crash test dummy survived hitting the brick wall shown at the beginning of this video because a strict set of parameters set by design and safety engineers were followed. You need to do the same. If you like this type of information, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons on your YouTube screen. Thanks for watching this episode and all my IB Myositis channel videos. This is Jerry, signing off for now. Buckle up, my friends.